Hello, hello, hello. Is this thing on? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Once again, live on Twitch, live on Wednesday night. Welcome one, welcome. Rocking, let's get rocking, let's get rocking. Once again, and this is a continuation of my Twitch live stream series on Farming Simulator 22. And I'm on the ELM Creek farm, which is one of the base game maps, and that's where we're at tonight. So let's get everything started. First of all, again, I want to welcome everyone to my stream. I hope everyone's having a wonderful evening or day or whatever it may be in your neck of the woods. I appreciate you tuning in. And first of all, before I get started and we really get into it, I just want to make a brief statement on my fellow citizens here in the state of Florida that I'm located in. Currently, we have a hurricane bearing down on certain parts of the state. It's actually affecting the entire state, but depends on what part of the state you're in. Some people are getting it very hard. Some parts of the state are getting it hard, very, very hard right now, and other parts of the state are not experiencing as much, but a vast majority of the state is being affected. I'm in one of the areas that has not been affected that much yet, but as the hurricane moves through the state, that could potentially change. But as of right now, not that much going on in my area. Although we are, being aware and staying tuned just to see, what might come about, because the hurricane's pretty much affecting the entire state to some degree at this point. But as long as my internet connections is working tonight and I have power, we're gonna still go ahead and fire away with this episode tonight. So let's get into it. I know if you're looking right now and you see what's going on, you're probably looking in the background and going like, holy moly, what the heck is all of this? Well, if you remember at the end of last week's episode, I was in the process of laying down placing some beehives. Well, after the end of the episode, I decided to go back and add a few more. And as you can see, I probably kind of got carried away with it a little bit. But I wanted to make sure that, honey production was up and running at a level where we can have a pretty decent amount of honey in storage. And based on what I saw so far, it didn't look like that much honey was being generated. So I thought to myself, why not place a few more hives and let's just see how it goes. And if I need to come back and remove some because the production's getting way, crazy or anything like that, I can always do so. But for right now, I just decided to just run them all the way down the line along this field because the beehive also provides a yield bonus for canola fields. If we go back to the help menu, let's go down here and then you can see in the help menu where we at. Is it under harvesting? I'm trying to remember, what was it under? Might have been on the animals, I think. Yeah. Beehives produce honey, which can be processed further or sold directly. Place your beehives next to your fields, and you will soon be living in the land of milk and honey, as bees will increase the yield of canola, sunflower, and potato fields. Honey will be delivered to the freely placeable delivery area. And we're going to kind of have a different spin on that because I have some mods installed that will have an impact on where our honey will be delivered. In fact, we did place that mod in the last week's episode, so we can go ahead and hop over there. Well, we'll just walk over there now. I could have easily hopped into the TLX and we could have drove over here. But we're going. This is kind of like our little industrial zone on the map, if you will. And here's our industrial bakery. And another standard bakery. And here is our other production point. And this is your beehive honey pallet location. And so when our honey pallets are generated, they will be distributed here and stored here. And we have these set up to be distributed. And from here, from this location, they should distribute to our logistics warehouse, which is where they'll be stored for the duration until we get our cereal plant production going, purchased, and then get that going. Because eventually, my goal in all of this is to get cereal production ramped up and going. I'm also going to need to buy some more fields because we're going to need to get some of the some more grains produced so that we have grains, a constant supply of grains in storage and just going year round in order to feed all of the different productions we got going right now and we're about to get into. So we're definitely going to need to get some more wheat, oat, or barley going, probably all three. All right, and that's where we're at there. Trying to see what else did we have going there. I thought I had taken some notes. I did not, so I'm actually coming in hot, and I don't know what else we needed to do before we. Oh yeah, check my animals. Not sure if I had taken care of the animals for today. We still need to do our riding for horses. I thought we might have had that knocked out, but we didn't. We still need to do that. You're taking care of the sheep. We've taken care of our cows. Chickens need to be fed. So we'll go ahead and do that. Pigs are fed. They could stand to be topped off, so we may go ahead and do that. The first thing first, we'll go ahead and feed our chickens. So let's go into here, and we're gonna fill up, and we're looking for our barley. So we're gonna grab some barley. And drop that off in order to get the chickens fed. And of course, as always, the leftovers go back in the silo. And just kind of take a look there, which seems like, are we getting low in barley? It's still 19,582. So reproduction bar is maxed out, and we still got stable. So I think every time a new batch is born, we'll just go ahead and sell the newborns immediately for profit, I think is how I do it. So that way I'm not having to ride what, 8 horses every single day. Yeah, we're just gonna raise them, you know, raise horses for profit. And the way I have the stable set up, well, let's take a look at that now. How many horses can the stable hold max? Because that may influence how I do it. Let's go. It should show there, shouldn't it? Let me go back to that screen. The horse barn. It's not telling me what the maximum. Maybe I have to do that from the barn. So let's go here, and we go over to the horse barn, and then select the animal dialogue. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so it holds 8, and we have half of the barn's capacity in here. So when these horses are all of age to reproduce, they should reproduce 4 additional horses for a total of 8. So when these horses do eventually reproduce, we'll have the maximum 8 horses, which will fill the pen to capacity. But like I say, when they do give birth, we'll just go ahead and either sell the parents or sell the offspring. I'm not quite sure how I'll play it. I'll probably sell the parents, and that way we can kind of, well, no, because then if I sell the parents, then we'll have to wait another crazy length of time before anymore. Well, yeah, I got to think about that a little bit. Yeah, because they have to be older than 22 months to even reproduce. So essentially, if I sell the offspring, then I have to wait roughly, what, about 4 years in game before we have any more. But that's cool though. Yeah, that's still how I play it though, because I don't want to have any I'm fluctuating all over the place. Yeah, I'm being wishy-washy here. What I'll do is we'll start out doing it with the parents. Although I don't think we're going to end up running this series that long, because horses take forever to have offspring. So we'll sell the offspring and just keep the parents in the stable and see how that kind of flows. But if we end up having like 100-year horses in in the stable, then that's going to look really weird and kind of crazy. But we'll play it by ear with an eye towards having something that resembles realism. Or at least try. We try to. We rode her. We'll try to resemble realism. I guess is what I'll say. Okay, why am I getting 100% on you? I'm struggling here. There we go. Yeah. So what we'll do is although we're still a long way out from that, we got to go through so many months before we're at a point where the horses are having offspring. Because I did kind of test that off camera, man, and I had to skip through so many months to get to that point, because I I never really played in Farming Simulator 22. I never really played horses to the point where they reproduce offspring, so I just wanted to see how that worked because I'd never done that before. So I did some testing between this stream and tonight's stream just to see what would happen there, and it took a while. And I was skipping a lot of months before the horses had their offspring, but they did have them. And I don't know yet. I'm still unsure as to how long I'm going to run this series now because there's some other awesome maps that are out in Farming Simulator 22 that I might want to run. And plus we got the expansion pack coming later this year, and I may want to switch up some things up and run on that map as well. And then also, as I indicated, and my channel is still super small right now. But as it starts to grow and people start to catch on and start to like my content, it is my goal that eventually I start to go and I may get requests to play some other games or even have more episodes, and I'll just again play that by ear. If the people say they want more content, I'll definitely create more content. If they say they want to see me play something else, by all means let me know. And if it's a game that that I'm interested in playing or that I play, most definitely I jump on it. Again, I mostly play simulation games, sports games. Probably my least favorite category of games are first-person shooters. So just please don't ask me to play any first-person shooters per se. I might hop on it for a little bit just to go through it, but probably not so much. Another game that I love that's kind of sort of an indie game, but it should be a grade A game, but because of the way it was released and stuff by Microsoft, it didn't get the proper love I don't think that it should have, because it should be a triple A game as well, and that's the State of Decay series. I just don't think that game got the love from the gaming community that it should have, plus and the support from Microsoft when it initially came out. Although, to be fair in that regard as well, though, the game when it originally released did have a lot of bugs and had a lot of issues, and same thing for its successor, State of Decay 2, which in my humble opinion improved a lot on State of Decay. There's one or two things from the original State of Decay that I think State of Decay 2 missed on, but it's still a better game overall and a great game to play. But again, I think I've talked about this before. As me as a gamer, I'm a gamer that's great at a ton of games, but I won't call myself an expert on that many games at all. I play games, to relax and have fun and all of that, and I've never been one of those. Even though I consider myself a hardcore gamer, but I'm not hardcore in that regard. I still play games for fun, even though I'm hardcore about playing games for fun. It's my hobby. I don't have any other hobbies per se. I used to be a big comic book guy. I used to build models, plastic and metal. I kind of got away from that for various reasons, including my kids getting older and having more responsibilities that kind of took me away from having a lot of my more expensive side hobbies. I also was an avid model railroader at one point in time. Still love it. Don't do that anymore because mainly because I'm very limited in space in my home that I live in now. So there's an element there, and then of course the expenses associated with that hobby. Although to be fair, in that regard as well, gaming is not a cheap hobby either. But yes, gaming is my primary hobby these days. I was a hardcore comic collector, still very much a comic book guy, but I don't collect the physical comics anymore. I don't even I've never been able to get into doing digital comics per se. I've tried, but I'm just not there yet. I guess I'm still a bit old school when it comes to that. But I haven't uh, even collected any hard copy comics in a number of years now. A few years back, I also used to play this tabletop game that some of you may be familiar with that's related to comics and similar properties called Hero Clicks. And I was heavy into that for a few years, and I have a pretty extensive collection of Hero Clicks in storage in my garage. So those are some background on myself and some of my hobbies, and I probably already expounded more than I needed to. But for those who are interested, that's a little more about Bose 831 than you might have wanted to know. But there you have it tonight. Let's see. Okay, we're getting the horses cleaned up. We've done the riding for the horses. All right. Let's go back to our production change menu because I gotta sometimes do a better job of making sure I have notes down between episodes so I know where I'm at when I come back in, so I'm not coming in kind of fumbling around or what have you. But I'm one of those folks that uh, likes to plan out certain things, but then other times I like to do things, play it by ear and not over plan and overthink stuff. But sometimes that puts you in an interesting position per se. All right. All right, my Amazon Alexa just made a weird noise, and it just kind of, sorry for the pause slash hesitation there. Um, just wanted to make sure because I was for a second there. So when that Alexa made that noise, I was like, did the internet just disconnect? But we still seem to be online, so we're still rocking and rolling here. But it did cause me to lose my train of thought. Um, what we're doing now here is I'm just kind of looking through my production chains to see if there's anything that might need my attention right now. I thought we had some going to my crop storage. All right. Yeah, we got corn in storage, and that's going to be ready for when we get the cereal production going. Well, I'm not exactly sure what exactly are the inputs for cereal. Got to look that up. We got sunflowers. We got soybeans. All right. Because definitely before I don't want to sell out my corn if that's one of the main inputs I'm going to need for my cereal. I know I was just speaking earlier about grain crops. I guess I need to look that up. What is the um, formula for producing cereal? So I'm going to go to the Farming Simulator website. Let's see, tutorials. I know you guys can't see that because I don't have a way to bring that up right now because I'm streaming on console. Unfortunately, if we're streaming on PC, I could kind of swap the screens around so you could kind of see what I got going there. But I need to find information on what are the inputs for the cereal production chain. Trees, machines, and tools. All right. Wow. I'm trying to get that figured out. We can still multitask. I can do more than one thing at one time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Solid fertilizer. Okay. There was something that I needed to sell from the production chains to make space for the production chain to start producing again. What was it? Was it lime? Yeah, lime was one. As we still, well, I think I did say since we only got 11,000 zones in there, we can just let that progress naturally and just leave that in the holding pattern for right now, because we'll still use lime on our fields, and when we buy more fields, we might regret selling that line if it's also lime that we need to put on our fields, and then we have to buy it right back. So we'll just hold off on that till we know for sure that that's what we really want to do. All right. Oh, solid fertilizer, because we got to get some digestate into this production to get that going. We did sell a lot of solid fertilizer, and that might come back to bite me as well. Okay, we got 192,000 liters of digestate in our BGA right now. All right, and we got honey going. We got 288 liters. Woohoo! So that's some good stuff there. Now, if we go to looking back in the logistics warehouse, what do we have stored in there so far? Honey. Oh, we got to go here, building storage. We only got 77 liters stored. Yeah, 77 liters stored. So slowly but surely we're getting there. Alright, what do we need to get into next? We saw that pigs needed to be topped off more or less, so let's go kind of give that a touch up. Also, we're in April, so we should be, this is the second month of our grass being in a ready to harvest state, so we can go ahead and get our grass harvest initiated for sure. I think that would be the next order of business, because we're low on bales, and if we're not producing enough bales, that means we're going to have to buy bales, and I don't want to be buying bales when I own farms where I shouldn't have to ever buy bales anymore, based on what my fields are producing. All right, so let's go ahead and chop this back off first. Pig food. So we can park that. And also of note, I have to remember that some other things have changed on the map as well now. So my daily routine involves more activities now, because we have the grape greenhouses as well, so we always have to be mindful of what's going on with those as well. So let's kind of pop over there real quick and see what's happening over in that spot as well. So we just go over to our fruit greenhouses and let's take a look, if we will. And we have water seeds and solid fertilizer and herbicide are all at decent levels. I'm gonna have to figure out what is my frequency as far as how I want to work out keeping them filled or topped off. Yeah, because we have the water silo on the main farm the water distribution silo on the main farm will automatically keep the water filled. But as far as like the other uh, elements, I got to figure out what is going to be my best practice as far as keeping these other ones filled. And that's also why I didn't place that many uh, of these greenhouses down at the moment, because I didn't want to be running myself ragged trying to keep up with them. And we can go ahead and sell both of these facilities now, because they were just, I just had them in place temporarily while we were getting everything set up. But now that we're set up, we don't need these here anymore. But what I may need to invest in now is another storage silo or two for our inputs, because one of the inputs that we're going to need on a regular basis for these is herbicide. So we already produce solid fertilizer on the farm. We can also look at investing in a seed production facility as well at this point, because we do have multiple greenhouses now that require seeds as an input, or we can continue to buy the seeds from the shop and just store them in a silo nearby. So those are all things I need to think about and kind of make some decisions on. Quick, while we're here, let's go ahead and do some landscaping. I'm gonna go to painting, and let's go with is that the asphalt? I think that's the dirt texture. Let's see. We'll do a little test location. Okay, yeah. And I'm sorry, my brain is just kind of still in that procrastination zone, so I haven't made up my mind exactly how I want to landscape this area or anything like that yet. So that's still kind of like a gray area in my brain on how I want to do it, because I'm not even sure I'm done with what I want to put here. And because since we've already kind of designated this is going to be another greenhouse area, what other greenhouses do I want to place here? I'm definitely thinking olives, probably, because I haven't done olives in Farming Simulator 22. I could have went the process of doing the orchards for olives similar to how I did for the grapes at the beginning of the series, but you saw how the process was for grapes. It's the same thing for olives, so there's no more we need to do there. And at this point, we just want to go ahead and kind of get to the point where we have those productions going. What else do we need to do here? Okay, I want to go back to my crops that I have in storage, and let's see. I thought okay, sunflowers. Yeah, that's what it was. That was the other thing that I needed to address. We got 17,000 liters of sunflower here. So I want to go ahead and get my sunflower oil production. I want to get my sunflower oil production back going, because we got plenty of sunflower oil and sunflowers in storage, so there's really no reason for us to be sitting on that many liters of sunflower. So we're going to go ahead here and fill up with sunflowers. All 17,000 liters. And let's turn our beacons on, and we're headed to the sunflower production facility. Get our sunflower oil production back in progress. So that's the production chain that's next up. All right, so we're dropping off the sunflowers, and now we're gonna hop on over to our production chains menu, and we're gonna look for the processing plant, the oil mill I should say, and we see sunflower oil, and it's a two sunflowers will give you one, I guess one unit of sunflower oil, and I think it's 1,000 liters of sunflower oil to make a complete pallet. All right, so we're going to go ahead and turn the sunflower oil production chain on, and it's set to distribute, so the sunflower oil will be stored at our logistics warehouse, and we'll sell it when it's the right time to sell it, depending on the prices on the market. All right, so that's our sunflower production chain. Alright, so we're done with the big rig for right now, so we can take that back to the main farm and go ahead and park it, because we're not going to need it for a little bit at least. And I think the next thing we want to address is our grass field and getting set up so we can do some mowing and some baling on the grass field. But before we do that, there's one other thing I need to check while we do have the big rig going, the Mac Superliner. Now hold on one moment, gang. I got to step away from the keyboard for just a moment. Be back in just a few. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so the next thing we wanted to look at was we wanted to go to our animals menu, and we wanted to do a quick check on where we're at with our silage, with our slurry. Okay, the cows have 342,000 liters of slurry. They're almost full. You see, as you can see, that bar is in the red, so that's about full. We also have 52,000 liters of milk. That's in the yellow, so that's something we want to keep our eye on. None of our productions are at the point where they're demanding milk to any break point right now, but let me double check. Let's go check our productions. Um, Bakery 1 could stand a little milk. Let's see, the dairy about the same. Um, Grain mill doesn't take milk. Let's go down past the greenhouses. Depending on what you have installed, as far as production chain goes, this menu can get really crazy. I can only imagine what this menu looks like on some of the larger maps, or if you're running a map where you got a large number of these productions installed on the map, you'll be scrolling for days. Um, or the industrial bakery. Okay, that one could use a lot of milk. Okay, in fact, that one could use, although the eggs, butter, and strawberries will be automatic because the strawberries come from the greenhouses, and the greenhouses are doing what they're supposed to do. Uh, the butter is derivative of the production chain, the dairy production chain, so that's pretty much automatic. Eggs are from the chickens, that's automatic. Sugar, I'm producing a ton of sugar, so that's pretty much automatic as well. You might as well say flour is kind of a variable, but we're going to be purchasing some more fields where that will not be an issue for very long. Okay, and so and finally the third bakery. So now I'm just starting to think that I may not have needed this additional bakery at all. So let me go back and look at this industrial bakery. It's back working like it's supposed to now, so I don't know why it was bottlenecked earlier. So this bakery production small, it's kind of looking like it's overkill. I didn't really need to have it placed. Hmm. Yeah, so I may need to get rid of it, but I don't want to lose the materials that I have inside of it, because that's a lot of materials there. That's a lot of materials, especially really everything that's in there. And if I sell it, I think the game will automatically sell the product at current market prices, but that still means that everything that's in there I'll lose. But this production facility also doubles as a flour production chain. Hmm. I gotta think for a second on how I want to deal with that. We got barley in here. We got wheat in here. Hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to keep them all going. Because we got enough greenhouses. Because I could always put more greenhouses down, especially now that we have the second uh, greenhouse location. And I could always have another switch one of these greenhouses that I have as far as the lettuce, tomatoes, and strawberries. Set one of these, another one of these to strawberries for distribution instead of selling. In fact, I could go ahead and do that now because we are. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. Because I have one strawberries greenhouse set to distribution for my production chains, and the other one, another one set to sell my strawberries. But now my now my productions require more strawberries, so we can now switch these strawberries to being distributed as well. And that's how we'll handle that issue. In fact, we'll go ahead and switch all of our strawberries to distributing, and if they bottleneck, then we can always switch it back to sales. All right. Strawberries, tomatoes, lettuce. Okay. I still gotta study this in detail and make notes and kind of research this, but I'll deal with that off camera because I just want to make sure our distribution with all of our fruit greenhouses are balanced with what they're producing and selling and whatnot. Because my idea here with all of these was to have them set up where I have 3 of each, as far as the different base game fruits, if you will, even though these are not base game greenhouses. But I wanted to have 3 each for the tomatoes, lettuce, and strawberries. All right. But getting back to where I was before I got lost on that tangent, what were we doing was we were trying to make an assessment on whether we needed to go ahead and move some things around so that we can get our BGA producing slurry, digestate from slurry, because right now our solid fertilizer production chain is not having anything that it can produce because it needs digestate in order to produce solid fertilizer. So right now it's not doing anything. Alright, so what we can do here, just to kind of get, well, we'll let that stay where it is for now. Let me get this up. We'll come back to that shortly because I want to make sure. Well, again, the wishy-washy is kicking in. Attach. We'll go ahead and move it around. Let me see. Close gate. All right, close gate. We're gonna grab the tanker and go ahead and move some slurry around. So we're grabbing the tanker trailer and we're gonna go over to our animal pens. Okay, I still didn't make the right turn, but that's cool. We'll just come this way. And you can look at the grass now and definitely see it's in a different growth state. So the grass is definitely in the second ready to harvest stage. Alright, well, we'll start with the pigs. We're just gonna go ahead and grab whatever slurry is in there. And we'll just fill it up and then move this over to our BGA, and then set the BGA to produce and digestate. And I think we still have this tanker set at the unrealistic capacity. So we have got the slurry from the pigs. Now we're going to do the same thing with our cows. And just like you see me do before, we have, well, let me just stop it right there. Because this BGA only has a certain capacity, so we'll make sure we don't exceed that. So get the tanker turned around properly here. I'm going to go to the unload point for slurry right there, and we'll unload what we have, and there we go. We're already maxed out. Yeah, it's only 75,000 liters, so we can turn that on. See, we're still 25,000 liters out. So what I do, we'll go ahead and take the tanker back over here and go ahead and finish emptying out what we have here for the cows, since we already got that started. Well, actually, nope, that's not what I wanted to do, because we could have taken some digestate from the mini BGA out. Well, we'll go ahead and do it now since we started. But what I was thinking about doing was just taking some digestate out of the mini BGA and go ahead and taking that over to the fertilizer production, so that way it's not sitting idle. I may still lease the tanker and do that anyway. Well, we got like a few 100,000 liters in here with the cows, don't we? I'm thinking. Oh yeah. So this is probably was not the best idea, because it means I'm gonna have this tanker locked into slurry and not be able to use it for moving other liquids around. So what it does mean is I'm probably temporarily going to have to lease another tanker trailer. I have one dedicated to slurry and another dedicated to milk. Or I could temporarily put a silo here to store slurry. Let's take a look at what I have as far as silos go. How many liters do we have in there? 134,000. Yeah, that might be a better move. So let's go to silos and see what our options are. Based on what I have installed in this game. So I'm going through, looking at what I have. I have this liquid storage mod that these silos hold 5 million liters. Yeah. Silos mod. And they don't, the good thing about this one is it doesn't take up a lot of space. And that's kind of what I want, because I don't want to run into this issue, because sometimes with this game, when you place things, you get unexpected terrain editing that you didn't know what was going to happen when you place it. And that's just one of the issues with the game, is you don't always know when you place an object how it's going to alter the surrounding terrain. Storage. I also have this mod, and this creates a ground storage, which might even be a better move, because I won't have to be as concerned as much about the terraforming of the terrain when I place this storage. It's 100,000. Let's see. Milliliter. 90,000. 10 million liters. 100,000 liters. Okay, a little issue with this though is it says, okay, that one's 45,000. That says 100,000. That says 1,000,000 liters. But that says 1,000,000 liters. Should that be 100,000? Okay, 200. I'm a little confused by the 90,000 and the 100,000 price are both, but they both have the same storage. Alright, the 45,000 only holds 100,000 liters, and we got way more than that. Oh shucks. So let's go back to silos. I think I'll go we'll try checking out one of these ground ones first, but I'm just trying to make sure which one I want to place. That's 100,000. That's 1,000,000. That's, again, both of these are, one's 45 and one's 50. What's the difference between the two? I'm trying to. Okay, one's single fruit, one's multi-fruit, I guess. Alright. let's see. In the interest of that whole kind of semi-realism thing, we want to keep going there. Let's see if I have a spot where I can place these. Where we're not running into collision issues. Alright. So we'll line that up about right there. That's 90 grand. Boom. So if we bring this tanker over here now, we should hit the trigger. Slurry. And let's see if it'll let me unload all the slurry in here. Okay. Okay. That's cool. And if we go take a look at it, what are we working with? 134,000. And if we go, what menu will we be able to view our silos under? Oh. Alright, I don't know if it'll show me here. No, that just shows me the grand total of what I all have in storage. So how can I see what the remaining capacity of this silo is? I'm not entirely sure. Where would I view that at? Because that's not a production chain, so it won't be there. And that's one thing that's definitely different from 19. And I still don't have that quite figured out yet. Is there a screen? Okay, I gotta research that because I don't know. I don't want to rename it. Because is there a screen or a menu where I can see all of my silos and what their capacity is versus it's what's already in there? If there is, I don't know. Well, maybe that's it. But this silo doesn't have a refill option, so that wouldn't. I don't know. I have to look into that off camera. That's the one that has me a bit puzzled there. Alright, so we're going back and grabbing all of the remaining slurry out of the cow barn. That's something we don't necessarily have to do, but since we have the silo in which to store the slurry temporarily, we're just going to go ahead and do that now. But I could just as have easily left it here inside the cow barn. Either way works out fine. I'm still a little kind of thrown off about how I can view um, the contents of this silo. The max capacity versus the contents that's already in here, because we know we got 134,108 liters in here. But how do we know what this is in relation to what its maximum capacity is? That I don't know. If there's a way we can kind of see that at a glance. If somebody does know, please chime in the comments. If I'm missing something, because with stuff like this, it's always a learning process. Even if you've been, it's never too late to learn. You're never too old to learn. Unload that in here, and I guess we'll see. Not sure. All right, so we'll look back at the cows, and if we go back to the cows, well, that's a done deal. And so, and next up, do we want to go ahead and just grab milk, or should we just wait till it's full? We'll wait. No need to push the issue. Our productions do need milk, but none of them are at a critical point as far as milk is concerned right now. But I'll take that back there. The last bakery that we installed is, but that's the only one. And I'm still thinking about whether or not I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that bakery, because that's really, really overkill. And maybe I just have to absorb those losses from selling that bakery back, but we probably have too many bakeries right now. But part of that, why I put that bakery down, was because we were having an issue with the industrial bakery. But that issue seems to have resolved itself, because now that industrial bakery is churning away. We'll keep the tanker on there. Alright, so we're done with the superliner for now, in theory. So I guess the next task we want to get into, and probably where we're going to end things up tonight. Hopefully I'm not missing anything else either, as far as let me double check. Weed medium. Yeah. Weeds on the fields that I planted. Do need to be mindful of that. You're good to go. Sunflowers. will need to be weeded. And no weed issue here. Let's advertise grass growing. None of my fields are saying needs rolling but the corn, and that's did we wait a minute, when did we plant corn? Crop types. When did we plant the corn? Did I forget the roll after doing my corn? Alright. Grass here. Alright. Corn says needs rolling. That's something I hope I didn't forget to do. Because you want to always roll right after you plant your crops, just to get that additional yield bonus. It's only 5%, but 5% is still 5%. And that may be something I just forgot about, and if I did, that's on me. I think, hopefully I still have a window to go ahead and do the rolling and get that out of the way. That's what I'm gonna check right now, and hopefully we're not too late that we missed that window. We want to check the roller to make sure it's set in the roller configuration. Look at that again. It's set in the rolling configuration, so we don't have to change it. So let's just go over to our cornfield and see if it will actually roll the field. And we didn't miss our time frame in which we are rolling. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and set the bad boy down and hire a worker, and let's see. Okay, we're still good to go there. I almost forgot about it though. That was a close one. Alright, so while he's rolling, we can go ahead and address getting the mowing of our grass field done. So let's go grab a mower, and we're gonna go in the shop, go to mowers, and we're gonna lease a lawnmower. And what do we want to use this time? Because we still only have this one small grass field, so we'll go with our old faithful setup that we typically use. We'll lease the John Deere HX20, and we'll also lease a rake, and we're gonna do it like we like to do it in terms of efficiency. So we're going to go to windrowers, and we're going to grab the Lizard R90 rake mod and lease. And we're going to use our Kubota M8 tractor for this particular task. Normally I like to use the Massey for some of the field work tasks that require a little bit more horsepower. But we're trying to multitask here this evening, so we're going to use both tractors. Alright, and so we're headed to the shop. And as you can see over to the right, you can see my little arsenal of beehives that we got going over here. And it definitely kind of changes the background as you're driving through. Kind of like, if we're gonna do beehives, then let's really do beehives, and let's really do honey. Alright, we made our way over to the shop. We're gonna grab the rake and the mower. And fold the rake up for travel. And I'm going to head back over to our grass field and get this bad boy lined up. And it just occurred to me. No, wait a minute. What am I missing? Ladies and gentlemen, it's one of those nights. Having a senior moment again. I just had realized what I did here. Let's go here. Alright. Mowers. So okay, yeah, I actually needed to lease a front mower. Wait a minute. No, a rear mower. Dang it. Alright, I'm all over the place here. We had the rake on the front and the mower on the back. I'm still out of sorts. See. Vario. This Vario is fine. Okay, let's go to leased items. I'm just throwing away money on the leases tonight. Return that. Return that. And that's all we need. Alright, headed back to the shop. I do this a million times, but tonight I'm just drawing blanks. So we want the configuration that we want is hang it, I'm still, yeah, still, my brain is really all over the place tonight because we need to have the rake on the front and the mower on the back. But no, that still won't work because we gotta have, the grass needs to be mowed before the rake can pick it up. How did I have it configured before? Okay. Now I remember. Yeah. The rake goes with the baler. So I do need the other piece. So we're gonna go back in the shop. I'm just all over the place here. I'm forgetting how the process works. So I do need to lease one of these. And we do want to do the whole butterfly configuration. I use the rake with the baler, not with the mower. And again, I'm sorry. I'm having a newbie moment and a senior moment all at the same time. Done this a million times, and tonight I come on and I can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay. So now that took more brain power than necessary, and we got it all figured out. We have the mower set up or configuration that we want. Now we can come back to the grass field and mow the grass field. And thankfully there's not a field adjacent to my cornfield, so I don't have to worry about babysitting my worker that's doing the roller operation. Although he's just about done anyways, because I spent way too much time trying to figure out what I was trying to do over here. But finally, after wasting tons of money, we have the setup that we need. Alright, and we want to lower and turn on our mower. And we want to do the same thing on the front end. And turn on mower. And we're ready to go. And as far as me getting this whole thing figured out, tonight the struggle is real. I'm literally sitting here trying to figure out, okay, what is it I'm supposed to be doing? What is the setup? I was just really seriously completely drawing a blank. That's incredible. Alright, so what we're going to do here at the top and bottom of the field is just go ahead and create a headland. And that's just basically a headland is like a little area at the top or bottom of the field where you can have it set up so the worker has enough space to turn around and then start back their harvesting, you know, in a different row. But they have enough room to turn around where they can do so without missing any areas of crop. Make sure. And since this grass field is not that large, it won't take us a ton of time at all just to go ahead and get it mowed. And then come back with the windrower and the windrowing bale at the same time. I'm sitting here kicking myself because, you know, this is my process. We've done this many times on many episodes, and I couldn't remember what the basic setup was. And we're going to go a little bit past the edges of the field, not too far, because getting all that extra grass is really not worth the hassle, because it's, number one, it's not that much extra grass. You might, if I shaved all this over here, mowed all that over there, plus the little areas of additional grass at the top and bottom of the field, I might get another bale. But most likely I won't get another full bale, and so I still end up losing all of that additional grass anyways. So it's not worth churning up that extra space. Okay, now the worker has finished with the rolling of the cornfield, and that's great. Definitely what we want to see. Okay, and we're gonna do one more pass at the bottom here. And now we should have plenty of room to turn the mower around. Okay, and having a little bit of a struggle keeping the mower slash tractor straight here. So still having to go back and touch up areas that I missed, and that's the whole purpose of creating the headlands, is so you don't miss, you know, areas of the crop, areas of the field. And it's mostly to help out AI workers, because the AI workers seem to struggle in this game no matter what you do. Okay, and got that knocked out, so we got one more pass to make through the field. Okay, and we're still missing areas of crop. Even when we turn around the proper way, I don't know why that was missed. Sure, we got it all. Because we got the right butterfly configuration for the mower, so they shouldn't miss any areas. For some reason it missed that spot. Alright, that's where the grass field is cut. Blue beans. So we can fold the mower up. Alright, we can go ahead and drop off the mower. the more attachments. And now we need to go grab our baler. And we have an automatic fast baler, and this bale will bale and wrap simultaneously. And we're doing silage again. Then what we'll do for the next bale harvest is grass harvest, we'll do hay, and then we'll switch back to silage. We don't need near as much hay as we do silage. And this may just start to be the tip of the iceberg, because we're probably going to need to start producing more of all of these elements as we expand our operations. So I may have to get another grass field going here in the not too distant future. Alright. So lower the windrower and turn it on. Then we want to go unfold baler, lower pickup, and turn on. It's already set to automatic drop, so now all we just got to do is kind of go straight, and the baler will do the rest. For the most part, that's all we have to do. We're still not lining up properly here, so the baler's still missing spots that we're going to have to go back and grab. And this is the cool configuration here for fast baling. And again, the best thing about the fast baler versus the other non-fast bale type of balers is, with this fast baler, you don't have to stop to unload. Oh, and of course, aside from not having to stop to unload, the whole deal of baling and wrapping all at the same time. Have to be careful here, because I don't want to dump any grass out in the road, because if I do that, I'll never be able to get it back. Alright, I have an idea here. We get turned around. There we go. Again, I know I'm going to have to come back and grab that. And I have to do all of this manually because a worker couldn't handle all of this. that's what I was afraid of, is just leaving those little areas where I got these little splotches of product that's not getting picked up. But you get these little splotches of product because I'm not always not able to move in a excuse me, in a straight line. Okay. There we go. Excuse me there with the voice. Voice is trying to fail me now. Okay, that was unusual. I can't recall I ever heard the fast bailer beeping like that. Is that something new? I just never really paid attention to it. Maybe it's always done that, but if that was the case, I've been missing it. Okay, and we're slowly but surely getting this grass field harvest scenario taken care of. I guess like I was explaining earlier, we need to work on dealing with the headland, so let's go ahead and do that first, because we're just going to have those little areas of product there no matter what, because I can't get this whole configuration turned around that tight. That'd be a tight turn radius even if I didn't have this configuration. Okay. And now this process is actually going a lot slower than it took us to mow this field, but that's for obvious reasons. You know. So we're running two pieces of equipment at the same time that are both powered by the tractor. Okay. So this is where we're, looks like where we're gonna possibly end up at the end of the show. I don't know if we're gonna make it all the way through. We got about another 13 minutes to go in this live tonight. Hold on a minute. So nothing real special here. It's just going through this field and you know, collecting bales. Well, not collecting bales, but creating bales. But just with this configuration, we're able to do two things at the same time, and all in one process, because we're raking. Basically, the rake is windrowing. And it's all done in one process instead of two separate processes. And I guess while we're kind of going through this mowing process, so we don't have any other things going on, and I did want to touch on, just briefly mention new and notable mods for the week. I haven't really done that much with mods this week. It's off camera, so I don't really have any mods to get into per se this week. I know whether there was an update to a few maps, and that's about it. Yeah, I think the one of the favorite maps of mine that I played on FS19, I have it downloaded in Farming Simulator 22 as well, but I haven't had much time to play on it yet. And that's the Griffin, Indiana map. It's a great map. I just haven't really had that much time to get into playing on that map, at least as far as the Farming Simulator 22 version of it's concerned. Excuse me. Now, what's going on with my throat all of a sudden? I guess there is something to be said about doing some exercises to work on your voice when you know you're going to be talking for a period of time, and that's not what you normally do, so you have to be prepared to talk. So sometimes you have to do different things to prepare your voice, especially if you're going to be talking for an extended period of time. And I guess that's maybe in part what's hitting me tonight. Alright, let's see if we can get this whole setup straightened out here. And the rake has a pretty wide spread, so once you get it going straight, it's going to cover a lot of area that even a lot of windrowers wouldn't cover for different reasons. Okay, and looking at the field, is that the entire field? I do believe it is. And that's what we want. Alright. So we're done with the windrower. And we can fold up the baler. We still had about 83% of product in there, but we'll just pick that up on our next run. Okay, let's let go of the, oops, we're on disconnect. We want to detach the rake. And since we keep forgetting to return the lease bale trailer, we can go ahead and grab that trailer and use that for our next operation, which will be picking up our bales and loading them up on a bale trailer and then placing them in our storage facility. So the first thing that I'll need to do is we need to go grab that trailer. Okay, we left the trailer over here in the animals area. And here we go, it's still here. So we're just gonna go ahead and grab it. Since we've been paying all those extra lease fees, we might as well get some use of it while we still have it leased. Okay. Took a bad angle on that turn and turned right into another area. Okay, here we go. So, this is an automatic bale loader. So we're going to go ahead and set it to from transporting to operating position. And it will automatically, what the heck is that? I was like, why is it putting them in that position? That was weird. I never seen it start in a weird position like that before. So, let me do this. Unload bales here. Reset. There we go. So now it's going through and picking up the bells. And as we talked about this before, there's different categories of players that play Farming Simulator 22. There's players that are into the ultra realism, and the players that are more casual and not into that ultra realism. But the ultra realism players, they play, for example, the entire time from a in-cab view, and they frown on certain things in the game that they feel like kind of cheats or cheating or cheaty, and top on very high on that list of cheaty things for a lot of those type of players is automatic bail loaders. But that, to me, that's kind of a moot point. It just depends on how you want to play the game. And plus, even in real life, there are automatic bail loaders. It's just that you're not showing the visual of the mechanic. You're just having them disappear and reappear on the trailer. But there are bail loaders even in the base game that are auto loading as well. It's just that you get to see the mechanical arm come out and do its thing and pick it up, put it on the tray, and the bail get moved around on the tray automatically. But there is such a thing in real life, and even in the game. It just depends on the trailer, really. Because if we go here and look in the shop, I could show you one real quick on a bail loader. It's just actually, there's an example of a square bail auto loader right there on the thumbnail. But the Anderson RBM 200 is a perfect example of an automatic bail loader that functions as such in real life. Oops, in there. And maybe on one of my episodes down the line, we can kind of at least one of those where you can see the bail auto loading in action as it works in real life. Alright, we got a full load of 28 bales on there. I was losing track of the time. We've reached the end of the stream. I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Like I always say, if you're not having fun doing what you do, then what are you doing? As always, like, comment, and subscribe. You can catch me on all the major social media platforms as I'm Bose831 Gaming on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. And hopefully I'm not missing anything, but I'm Bose831 Gaming and everywhere and anywhere you want to find me. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll pick up right from here on the next episode in this series. All right, thanks everyone. Y'all have a great night, and be safe. All right, and I'll catch you all on the flip side.